can trial and error lead to success? What happens when you dwell on past mistakes? Why is a positive mindset important?
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in to Greenpool's channel. I'm Yuji, a Japanese retiree and the author of Greenpool, Simple Lessons Learned in My Ordinary Life. Today's theme is positive mindset. When you are chasing a goal, or trying to solve a problem, staying positive and focusing on the process of trial and error by making the most of limited resources without prejudice or preconceptions can really pay off. This kind of forward-thinking mindset helps you stay in the moment, tackle challenges, and tweak your approach as needed. If you keep looking back and stressing over past mistakes, it's like you are stuck in a time loop where nothing moves forward. Dwelling on what went wrong makes it harder to focus on the here and now, the place where all the action and opportunities are. The key to success? Keep your eyes on the present and picture a positive outcome in the future. A good and pure mindset isn't just nice to have. It's a game changer. It keeps you bouncing back, thinking ahead, and seeing mistakes as lessons that push you closer to your goals. In line with today's theme, I'll share 4 short related essays from my book Greenpool. When we were younger, many of us tended to fall into the trap of bluebird syndrome, where we would chase after imaginary bluebirds. Dreaming of a magnificent future without putting in meaningful effort in our current familiar society or workplace. Although I understood the concept of this syndrome, I found myself on the verge of falling into its trap several times, perhaps because the grass on the other side of the fence often appeared greener than my own. However, as I grew older, I became convinced that, in reality, the grass on the other side is rarely as green as it seems. Given this, I've come to realize that focusing on the present moment is the most direct path to fulfilling our life needs. rather than endlessly searching for an illusory blue bird. Simply put, pure ice being an aggregate of pure H2O with no containing impurities such as air bubbles or chlorine is transparent, hard, and hard to melt ice. Since each crystal is arranged regularly, impurities have good heat conductivity, and the more impurities there are, the more easily the ice will melt. Pure ice is completely tasteless and odorless, which can bring out the natural flavor of food and drinks without sacrificing their taste. Although it's easier said than done, excellent managers might be those who, like pure ice, run an organization by making the most of the characteristics of their team members, without prejudice or preconceptions. About 6 years ago, I visited the town where I had once lived for the first time in 30 years. The town had undergone a complete transformation with a significant increase in cars and buildings. As I strolled through familiar streets, memories from 30 years ago came rushing back, and I couldn't help but reminisce. Despite the drastic changes, some fragments of places remained untouched, stirring a strong sense of nostalgia. Though the town's outward appearance had evolved so much, my own consciousness seemed unchanged from 30 years ago. This left me feeling almost stranded in time, and I felt the weight of the 30 years that had passed since my last visit. It was as if I'd stepped into a time capsule. My memories held tight to the past, while the town I now stood in had moved forward into the present. In my mind, it felt like a journey back in time, but also a journey to the future. This experience brought to light a self-evident yet powerful truth. My mind oscillated constantly between the past, where time seems frozen, and the present, where time marches on. indifferent to the years that have passed. Whether it's an individual or community problem, we, as those directly involved, cannot solve the issue without taking concrete action. As imperfect beings, we often have to struggle through a process of trial and error to find the right solution. During this journey, if the problem is unavoidable, psychological pressure tends to build as the deadline draws near. In such challenging situations, positive and optimistic thinking becomes essential. It motivates us to keep going and helps us overcome the pressure, ultimately leading to a solution. In contrast, if our mindset is dominated by negative and pessimistic thoughts, the outcome of our problem-solving efforts is likely to be unfavorable. I hope today's essays resonated with you and offered new inspiration. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time on the Green Pool channel. Until then, take care. また会いましょう。ありがとうございました。